Scarpins Avenue.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sklar Country, the virus edition, aka the Pandy Pods,
AKA two bros, we got the nose,
aka two Jews here to warn you not to get COVID, peed on, or something else insane. Do not get on a freaking plane. That was Kristen Kim an hour ago. She put that in there.
Someone on our Instagram who said snakes on a plane.
Snakes on a plane was so funny.
That's such a funny comment
on
about
the last
that story.
on yesterday's thing. Also roasting those who underscored our fears and waterboard our ears. That's Huddletron, aka the AKA guy, aka Old Zealand. Guys, we are here. We
Middle
got
of the
stories.
week, near the end of the week.
So we're dropping this on a Friday. So this is going to lead
We're
you.
dropping this on a Thursday.
So this will hopefully lead you to Friday, which will lead you into the weekend. How you doing? How's it going? Are you okay? Are you dealing with things as the stress of the election starts to bear down on us in ways that are palpable and real? Again, make your plan to vote. If you haven't voted already,
The choice has never seemed more clear cut, which of course makes the potential outcome in the other direction seem that much more unpalatable.
totally. But in the meantime, we're here. Let us be your food to sustain you so that you can go back out into the fight. And yes, we're talking about things that have to do with the pandemic and things that are happening right now. But we're here to try and give you, we're making fun of it.
Making fun of dumb behavior.
Holy bullwinkle, do we have a story for you?
Well, right you are, Rock.
Well, it's what right you are, Rock.
Oh, yeah.
You did it as Rocky.
Right.
Way to go, Jay.
Sorry.
You just knew, and this is the truth, that
Sorry, buddy.
that Tiger King was the tip of a dumbass
Crazy
iceberg that we couldn't see the rest of the iceberg of that has yet to be uncovered of people who are dumb and own home zoos. Those are the best of them.
Yeah, you saw the successful one.
Right.
How about the 9 that didn't work out where the drug problems were way worse?
Right. They're crazier, they're druggier,
They have less teeth.
They have less morals. Toothless bastards. And boy, do we ever have a story for you right now about $1 million illegal animal ring in Florida recently that I didn't even know this existed. Again, this show and researching for this show is opening my eyes to things that I didn't know exist and probably didn't want to know existed.
Right. It makes you feel sadder about what's going on because you're like, oh, God, more.
And like any story involving a home zoo, I just feel bad for the animals. Right?
Yeah, Randy, we've always said this. The animals should not really be in sanctioned zoos, let alone home zoos.
Right. If anybody's arm or face gets ripped off or bitten off, I'm good.
Yeah.
You deserve it.
You asked for it.
You asked for it by being there. You shouldn't.
A monkey shouldn't be hanging on your kid's swing set.
That's right. There you go.
That's it.
Are animal rings the new prostitution rings, Jay?
I wonder if Tiger King has made that the new trend. This is how people can make money.
I think people, there was a certain element of people who watched
Tiger King and were like, ooh.
There's an opportunity.
Ooh.
Let me get a snow leopard.
That might
in
be
Tampa.
Let me get a leopard ring going over here.
This comes out, if this had come out decades ago, I feel like Tony Kukoc would have owned.
Instead of a prostitution ring.
He would have owned exotic animals.
Yeah.
Here
iguanas. He would have had an iguana zoo.
Komodo dragons that he was selling to people. Wow. And remember, by the way, The Freshman? Remember The Freshman, that movie with Matthew Broderick and what's his face from The Godfather?
Yeah.
Marlon Brando?
Marlon Brando. But the story of that was that they were using
exotic pets for food.
Yes.
All right. A group of flying squirrel smugglers.
What?
Did you ever think I'd say that phrase anywhere? A group of flying squirrel smugglers has been grounded after a 19-month-long investigation that stretched across the country as far as Asia. Florida wildlife officials have said flying squirrels grounded.
Well, there's your joke. New York Post.
They basically look like, in my opinion, when you look at them, they look like bats wearing the suits that base jumpers wear.
And we've always said this about squirrels. They're basically rats with better tails and better publicity and PR.
Yes. Squirrels are basically rats with better tails and better marketing.
That's it.
We've always said that.
We've always said it.
People feed squirrels out of their hands. Would you?
They're adorable in the
They're
park.
in the park. Literally food out of their hands they give to squirrels because they think they're cute, because of the tail and because of the marketing. If a rat came towards you, you would think to yourself, that thing's going to bite my face off.
And then give me the plague.
That's right.
Rats are like white supremacists today.
Rats are like bikers at a Sturgis festival.
Thank
Do you know what I mean?
Yes. You're like, is he coming at me? Is he going to give me something? Am
You-
I going to get a disease? Is he going to bite my face off?
Yeah. All things could happen.
Everything's on the table when you run into someone
Is
like
he going
that.
to play me smash mouth? Whatever it is, I'm going to be in pain.
I'm going to be disgusted. I'm going to be in pain.
And I could die. That's
No.
what people see when they see rats coming their way.
and I want to exterminate it.
Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission announced the series of arrests Monday, which disrupted what they called an elaborate, organized enterprise to smuggle Florida's wildlife to interstate and intercontinental and international buyers.
Who is in the market for a flying squirrel? That's what I want to know from this story.
And you have to keep them, in my opinion, in a pretty large cage. Like
Just watching a squirrel jump in a little cage.
I have squirrels that I've seen jump off my roof to the podocarpus
And those
trees.
aren't flying squirrels.
No, those are regular squirrels. Like, they need distance. You can't just have a small, 10-foot cage.
No,
It's
you
got to
can't
be
do
your whole backyard. Do you realize how expensive that is to cage in your whole backyard?
I do.
It's just great. It was back in January 2019 when FWC, Florida Wildlife Commission, received a tip about flying squirrels being illegally trapped in rural Marion County. That eventually led them to uncover the elaborate scheme.
There has to be a minor league baseball team called the Flying Squirrels.
There has to be. Please. Again, did not know there was such a huge market for this. Did you, Jay?
No, I had no idea.
Nobody in history has ever said, what should we do this weekend? Oh, I don't know. There's some flying squirrels we could go look at somewhere, right? We should probably check that.
You want to see if we can go get a flying squirrel for the house? If you take care of it, then we get a dog.
That's right.
We're starting with the flying squirrel.
Start small and then
You got to take it out for a fly.
who sees, like we said before, who sees the flying squirrel as a great moneymaker?
I don't.
Do you know what I mean?
A visionary.
And why would you try and capture something that flies like that?
It is an odd choice. That's why I don't understand birds as pets. Birds as pets feels to me, and look,
Our uncle had birds,
Birds.
and
And
he loved them. He loved the
those
birds
damn
so
birds.
much. He had a connection with the birds that I just couldn't understand.
fed him stuff out of his mouth.
Unless you're teaching flying squirrels to be tiny acrobats in a tiny circus, I don't get it.
I'd be interested in that.
I would watch that. According to FWC, the flying squirrels, which are a protected species in the state, by the
Thank
way,
God.
trapped in Central Florida, then sold to a wildlife dealer in Bushnell, who resold them as captive bred pets,
Pets.
not wildlife, pets. Who wants a squirrel as a pet? You leave a squirrel in your house, get ready to have everything knocked over.
If you're the kind of person who absolutely has to have a flying squirrel as a pet, then
You have to ask yourself why.
you're revealing so much about yourself. Who took control away from you as a kid?
Yeah.
Who made your life, something that wasn't yours,
That
that
you
you now
now
need
have-
to control something else that doesn't want to be controlled?
It's like grass in Phoenix in the summertime.
Feels
We got it.
weird and wrong.
That's right. The FWC said the scheme involves buyers flying into Bushnell from Korea, then driving them to Chicago. You got Koreans driving them, transporting them? I don't understand this racket. Korean trappers and transporters, Jay. Wow. To get the job done. These aren't even American jobs. You're taking away Americans' jobs.
Those should be Americans' jobs.
You think a scheme as stupid as capturing flying squirrels would be an American scheme?
We got this on our own, Korea. We don't need your help here.
We had to export our flying squirrel capture and transportation to Korea.
We outsourced it to Korea.
Other traffickers from Atlanta eventually became involved. Glad they came involved. Atlanta started sniffing around. What are you doing in Central Florida? What do you got, some flying squirrels up in
The
there?
Atlanta trap scene is very, very different.
Right? That
Atlanta
is.
trap is a whole different ballgame.
And that's how secretive this whole thing is, in my opinion. Like, they're coming down, Mr. White, this is Mr. Pink, Mr. Pink, this is Mr. Gray, Mr. Gray, this is Mr. Park. He's from Korea.
Oh, okay.
Investigators believe the poachers caught as many as 3,600
That's an
flying squirrels
insane number.
throughout Central Florida in less than 3 years, setting as many as 10,000 traps. That's insane. What else did you catch in those traps? You didn't just catch flying squirrels. You probably caught like a kindergartner.
Look, that there were nearly 4,000 people that wanted flying squirrels, or even 1,000 if each one wants 4. I don't know. That feels like too many.
I just
Can't name 5 people
here's
that
what
I
I
know
hope.
who would want
People
a flying
spent a lot of money on the flying squirrel, and then got it home, put it in the backyard, and the squirrel flew
Just
away.
flew away.
Bye, Felicia. Flying squirrel is like, yeah, I live in Des Moines now, bitch.
See ya.
I want every flying squirrel to fly away from, and I know they don't fly away, but I would love for them to have the ability to fly away from
Get
anyone
up on
who-
a tree and just drift off into
and then
another.
somehow get back down to Florida.
Don't
So,
they fly south for the winter? Am I
hope.
wrong?
By the way, turtles and even alligators were also smuggled in a similar fashion.
Well,
yeah,
the turtle's
because
not going to get away.
if
That's the
you're
problem.
a person who has illegally ordered an alligator from, I guess, a catalog, where do you get it? From
Sky
a website?
Mall?
Or a turtle to be delivered by crooks, potentially Korean crooks,
Korean crooks
then
driving
I'm
into your house.
guessing you don't fill out a normal tax return.
No.
You probably don't have a great relationship with your parents,
Your ex-wife.
your kids,
It is an ex-wife.
your neighbors. You definitely don't have a good relationship with your neighbors.
Your neighbors are afraid to talk to you. Okay.
By the way,
That's who they
everyone
are.
has that guy in their neighborhood who you look at and think, this motherfucker owns an illegal flying squirrel.
That's right. And no one wants to talk to you, but everyone in your neighborhood is talking about you.
That would be the best way to define a guy in one sentence. Yo, what's up with your neighbor? Oh, he owns a flying squirrel. There you go.
That's all you need to know.
I need to know.
That's all-
Say no more.
Say
no more. This guy works part-time collecting targets at a gun range.
None of his pants are pants. They're all shorts cut off from pants.
He's got newspapers in his living room from 1997. FWC experts estimate the international retail value of the poached wildlife exceeds $1 million. Retail? There's a retail. What do you mean retail? You can't put a retail value on it. What is there? Wholesale flying squirrel versus a retail flying
Look,
squirrel? They mark those
we
things
take
up.
out the middleman so that we pass the savings on to you.
Like what pet store is selling a flying? You can't go into Petco and buy a gerbil and a flying squirrel.
No, you cannot.
Unless you're Richard Gere. So far, 7 suspects have
Which,
been
by the
arrested.
way, that didn't happen.
I know. He did not put a flying squirrel up his ass.
No.
So far, 7 suspects have been arrested on charges ranging from conspiracy to commit racketeering or grand theft, including at least 4 men from Central Florida. FW say more arrests are coming. 4 men from Central Florida. And when you see their pictures, Jay, I'm telling you,
They look like the kind of people who would get into flying squirrel smuggling.
they look like wild animals themselves
Yeah.
that should have been trapped.
Yes.
None of them look like they've showered in months, Jay.
No.
Put it this way. You can smell them through their mugshots.
Jesus.
They all look like the first guy who dies in a Steven Seagal movie.
That's right. Low-level thugs on the other side.
The concerned citizen who initially reported this activity started an investigation that uncovered a major smuggling operation. Who the hell is the flying squirrel vigilante?
Well, this guy.
Again, look at these men. Look at their mugshots. If you were trying to pull a citizen's arrest on these dudes,
You better put him away or
bet-
you're going to have to
you
disappear
better
yourself.
step to them with a bazooka at least.
Or a jar of acid.
Because each guy looks like they've eaten a man's foot before.
Mm-hmm.
Like they would scare railroad hobos. Do you understand what I'm saying?
That's how crazy flying squirrel poachers look.
And did you expect anything else? Like, what did you expect a flying squirrel poacher to look like? Carl Sagan? No.
Not even
They're
Carl
flying.
Lewis.
No, they're flying squirrel poachers. They look exactly like you think a flying squirrel poacher should look. Like they just passed out for 3 days and woke up thinking that they went back in time.
Correct.
They Rip Van Winkled it.
Yes.
This is it's the problem is Major Grant Burton, who's part of the investigation, said in a press release about the investigation, these poachers could have severely damaged Florida's wildlife population. There is a number of animals.
Ecosystem.
Right.
You can't just lift out 4,000 of one thing in an ecosystem.
We have to keep Florida's wildlife intact. Why? Because alligators, they're the ones who will eat stupid people in a natural selection kind of way.
and we can't get in the way of that.
We need them to limit the population. If you're dumb and drunk and you hang out in a drain ditch, you're going to get eat.
In the most Malthusian way, we need natural levelers like alligators eating stupid people.
Poachers, don't take them out. And that is our first story.
There you go.
And when we come back, oh my God, Zoom is going to get you. And
Again!
I don't care how smart you are, Zoom is going to get you. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back to the show. As we hurtle towards the November 3rd election and as we hurtle towards November 7th, Live Dumb People Town tickets are going. They're going. We'll get the breakdown and let you know, but I know all the VIP pre-shows or post-shows are bought. There's some pre-show meet and greets left. I think the general admissions are almost gone. Couples tickets are going too, so get your tickets now.
There are group tickets and Ticket Plus left. So get on that.
Eventbrite.com and look up Live Dumb People Town, November 7th. John Hamm, the band Tennis, Dan, me, Jay, headlines. It's going to be a blast. I'll wear my
so
hat.
much fun.
Again, 6:30 West Coast time, 9:30 Eastern time, and then every time in between, we'll be seeing Huddletron there from New Zealand. We'll be seeing Sarah Dunn in Ireland. All of our friends from all over. You're going to be there, and
Stephen Elton Yates will be there in New York.
I can't wait to see you guys. Charlie Schulman, everybody will see on there. That's November 7th. And then check out our YouTube page, Sklar Country. Got great episodes of Cheap Seats up there, old episodes of Dumb People Town we're going to throw up there. And then
Facebook.
Follow us on Facebook.
Yeah, like our Facebook page,
Sklar Brothers,
and check out the videos. We're putting up videos with explanations, like a little DVD, almost commentary.
It's fun.
About
it's
old
cool.
stand-up bits and things like that. So worth checking out.
Okay. All right, this next story is all about how really smart people can make really dumb mistakes too. You're not immune.
And once again, this is an example of how Zoom is going to get you.
Zoom
right,
is
Rand?
going to get you. Zoom is going to get you. Zoom is going to get you
and
tonight.
It kills us to go after this guy.
Because he's a great analyst.
So we're not really going after him. We're just explaining why he shouldn't have done what he did.
Something dumb, and it has to do with Zoom. And
look, we've all been a lot of Zooms. We by this point, we should know.
Jesus Christ, you should know the rules of the Zoom.
Keep your head about yourself when you're in a Zoom. Know where you are. Know what you're doing.
Here we go. The New Yorker has suspended reporter Jeffrey Toobin. Yeah, that Jeffrey Toobin from CNN for masturbating on a Zoom video chat between members of the New Yorker and WNYC Radio last week. Toobin said he did not realize the video was on. Always realize the video is on.
At least he isn't saying I didn't do it.
Assume if the computer is open in front of you, the video is on.
I'm
not on a Zoom right now, but I'm assuming I'm on a Zoom somewhere.
And why couldn't this have waited, Toobin?
Yeah. Why?
Unless you were masturbating to Wolf Blitzer's beard.
That's right. Quote, I made an embarrassingly stupid mistake believing I was off camera. I apologize to my wife, family, friends, and coworkers. Toobin told the motherboard. All right. He's admitting to it. At least he's not saying someone hacked my penis.
Right. You made a huge mistake at the absolute worst possible time
Yeah,
for
doesn't
you.
He have a new book out?
I guess.
This is not the type of October surprise Toobin or anybody wanted right now. We need his analysis as we head into the election. Amy Coney Barrett's Supreme Court nomination. I want to hear what this guy has to say, but you know what? You took yourself out the game.
Yourself out the game, and I think he's got to just come clean, no pun intended.
You got to be
but come
super
clean.
honest, which, by the way, is not something that legal folks like to do. They like to dance on
around it,
legalese,
get into the margins,
and at times only they can understand. It's, dare I say, self-masturbatory a lot of time the way those people talk, but it's the acceptable kind,
right? What he did, not acceptable.
I believed I was not visible on Zoom. I thought no one on the Zoom call could see me. Doesn't matter.
That's not an explanation.
No, it's not. You shouldn't have been masturbating at that time. I don't understand it.
Treat yourself like you're in a conference room meeting.
Would you masturbate in the middle of a conference room?
If everyone's looking down at their papers, do you go in the corner behind the plant and just do it?
No. You don't rub one out. No, you do not. I mean, you would if you're Matt Lauer, but anybody else.
Matt Lauer would push a button
and then shut the doors.
Door would shut, and then he does his thing.
I thought I had muted the Zoom video, he added. I thought I had muted the Zoom video is like, that's the new catchphrase of 2020. No one ever says, I thought I had muted the Zoom video, and then something good follows that. You know what I mean?
I muted the Zoom video, but then I revealed that I'm giving everybody scholarships.
Nope. That's the beginning of every embarrassing mea culpa
for the next year or two.
Right? Two people who were on the call told Vice separately that the call was an election simulation, more like an erection stimulation. Hey-o! Toobin! Damn. Come on, man. You're better than that, but maybe, goddammit, you aren't. The Zoom featured many of the New Yorker's biggest stars. Jane Mayer was playing establishment Republicans. Evan Osnos was playing Joe Biden. Jelani Cobb was playing establishment Democrats. Masha Gessen was playing Donald Trump.
And she does a great Donald Trump.
Andrew Morantz was playing the far right. Sue Halpern was playing left-wing Democrats. Dexter Filkins was playing the military. And Jeffrey Toobin was playing with himself.
No, he was supposed to be playing the courts, but still, he was playing with himself.
Yeah. Which, if he's playing the soon-to-be Supreme Court with Amy Coney Barrett on it, he could have taken a shit on his computer and claimed it was a metaphor, and nobody would have given him crap for anything.
Yeah.
He would have been dinged for it. He'd say, I'm a strict originalist when it comes to technology. There are also a handful of other producers on the call from the New Yorker and WNYC. By the way,
The more the merrier at this point.
you could have just said Anthony Weiner just Zoom bombed, right? I bet they thought he came in. What's Anthony Weiner doing on this Zoom? No, that's not him. That's Toobin.
Toobin's Wiener.
Both people spoke in the condition of anonymity in order to speak freely, noted that it was unclear how much each person saw, but both said they saw Toobin jerking off. Well, isn't that a weird phrase to put in a thing? Surprised they didn't call it jacking off.
Pleasuring himself.
When two witnesses see it the same way, what would you call that term, Toobin, legally?
Corroborate.
I call that case closed.
Case closed. Yeah. A full release of facts into your briefs.
Mm-hmm. Again, I just can't believe he couldn't wait to do this at a later time. Look, we're not. He has.
Wait till you're alone in between Zooms.
He has every right to masturbate. You do. It's your right as a human being, and especially in these times, whatever gives you happiness and pleasure.
No one's mad at you for doing that.
Nope.
You just got to know the right time to do that.
He needed to get on that Zoom in order to get off of that on that Zoom. Maybe
you need to get on that Zoom in order to get off on that Zoom.
So that's the only conclusion I have is that something on the Zoom was causing him to feel this way.
Right.
That he couldn't do it another time, Jay. That's the only reason.
Yeah, because there's no other explanation.
Maybe he lives in a small New York City apartment. I don't know. And this is the only time that he's
got a
alone.
bathroom.
I know, man.
Take a shower.
Get it done now or never. Still, nobody would consider masturbation any part of debate prep, would they?
No,
even Trump's.
Although,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true.
Two sources described a juncture in the election simulation where there was a strategy session and the Democrats and Republicans went in their respective breakout rooms for about 10 minutes. He was breaking out of his pants. That's for goddamn sure.
Absolutely. Again, breakout discussion. That's not where you take out your junk.
That's not.
It's still part of the prep.
You dispense with any junk that has been going on in the Zoom in the breakout room. You don't take your junk out. At this point, they said it seemed like Toobin was on a second video call. Oh,
okay.
What is the second video call? Was he watching another video? What was happening?
And why, again, could he have not waited?
That's it. Again, we have zero problem with Jeffrey Toobin pleasuring himself.
To quote Woody Allen, another person who's done some questionable things.
In Annie Hall. Didn't he say it in Annie Hall?
I love masturbation. It's sex with someone I love.
All right.
Hey, don't knock it. It's sex
with someone I love. Just not on the clock, at work, in front of other people who definitely didn't ask to see you do this. Okay? Unwillingly.
Who didn't want to be a part of that.
The sources said that when the groups returned from their breakout rooms, Toobin lowered the camera. Lowered the camera is like the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
He lowered the camera on his career right here for the next at least couple years.
So maybe he wanted them to see.
Do you think he comes back from this anytime soon?
I don't know how he can.
For real.
Man. I really don't know.
He's going to have to go away for a long, long
2028 maybe.
He come back for the 2024 election.
If there is even a country anymore. I don't know. Who knows?
Toobin then left the call. Moments later, he called back in, seemingly unaware of what his colleagues had been able to see, and this simulation continued. Like Tom Brenneman on Cincinnati Reds, he was on a hot mic. The Zoom
is like a hot mic situation. You can't do it.
And Toobin, who is a TV veteran, who has been on microphones and lav mics on sets forever.
He should know this by now.
He should understand the hot mic nature of a Zoom and how it...
Look, he's articulate. He's always on point. I think he makes great points a lot of the time.
He should be fully aware of the hot mic scenario. He's not a middle school earth sciences teacher. You should know, bro. He's a savvy TV personality. Mm-hmm. New Yorker spokesman Natalie Raab said, Jeffrey Toobin has been suspended while we investigate the matter. Well, he's going to get fired from CNN.
That's for sure. No doubt. That. Yeah.
Toobin's Condé Nast email has been down. He hasn't tweeted since October 13th. He did, however, appear on CNN, where he's the network's chief legal analyst. Like we said on Saturday, Jeff Toobin has asked for some time off while he deals with this personal issue, which we have granted, CNN said in a statement. Like
you're not going to see him for a long time.
Yeah.
It's just the facts.
He's the only person asking for New York City to be locked down for the next 6 months because of Corona. He doesn't want to go out. He doesn't want anyone going out.
Yes.
He needs to get this situation under control on his own. The only good note to this
For him.
with his leave of absence, he will have a lot more time to be alone and a lot more time to jack off.
Look.
I'm trying to find a silver lining to.
I don't think it was about being alone. That's what I'm going to tell you.
You think it was about being around other people?
Performative nature. There was something in that he had to do it on the Zoom.
I think it was a
otherwise,
mistake.
you think it was just a mistake?
Yeah, I do. But it's so dumb and so reckless. He's got the reckless nature of it probably excited him. He's going to have to go to therapy. He's going to have to make a huge mea culpa, and he's going to have to explain it in a very embarrassing way. Fox News is going to be all up his ass.
They're going to go off.
This is crazy.
La-ti-da, la-ti-da-ti-da-ti-da, la-ti-da.